Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. The retro title that I want to look at today is Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus for the PlayStation 2. Now I absolutely adore Sucker Punch Studios, they are just phenomenal. I think the Sly Cooper series is excellent. I love Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yotei, got rave reviews and everything. I think they're just a phenomenal studio. Infamous, I forgot on the PlayStation 3, they just did a lot of things and they did them really well. And Sly Cooper was such a phenomenal debut for them on the PlayStation 2. And I just really love the franchise as a whole, but the first one has a special place in my heart for a variety of reasons, mostly that cel-shaded aesthetic, and they just really nailed the whole like Sly Capers thing that they're going for. I really enjoy what they did. They nailed it from the get-go, and I think a lot of its charm really lands in the first game, whereas sometimes in the sequels they tried some things I liked and some things I really didn't like. The first one really is just a solid entry across the board, and I want to talk about it today. So first and foremost, if you're not unfamiliar with Sly Cooper, you play as Sly Cooper and his buddies. You play as Sly Cooper specifically, and his buddies are kind of the secondary characters. You do play as Murray a little bit, a hippopotamus that's really goofy, and he's the driver and everything. He's the brawn of the operation. You also have Bentley that will talk to you. He gives you like the comms information. He's the one that's hacking into things. You actually get to play as him right at the very end of the game for one section, but mostly he serves as a way to kind of narrate what's going on, and it's really charming. They're kind of goofy characters, and they're meant to be, and they have a lot of chemistry between the three of them. They're really funny, they're a really motley crew, but Sly Cooper is trying to recover the pages of the Thievius Raccoonus, which is like an ancestry book for him. It's all of the thief techniques that his ancestors have left behind, but the I can't remember their name all of a sudden. Oh no, I just finished this. It's the five bad guys here, the five villains here. If I remember, I'll put it up on the screen, or if I'm remembering during post and everything like that. But there's five major villains in this game, and they have taken pages of the Thievius Raccoonus from like Sly's ancestors and killed them off. Sly is the last remaining one. He's going out to retrieve those pages so he can learn new techniques and become a master thief just like his family and kind of inherit his birthright, as it were. So it's a really nice structure. I really like how they set it up. Each area is very distinct. They go to different places in the world, like the actual world here. They make something up here. They go to different spots. They go to China. They go to these different places that match the locale of the boss that they're fighting here. Each boss encounter is really unique. The one in the swamp with the alligator is actually a rhythm game, which is probably my least favorite, but it is really interesting, and they did a really good job with it. It is really tense in a lot of ways. Each one has a unique gimmick, and I think they did a really good job with each of these boss fights. The last one is like a shooter where you're in the air and you have to be gunning down and like dodging bullets. It's a little bit of bullet hell, a little bit of a shooter. You have one, like I said before, that's a rhythm game. You have another that's like a straight puzzle. You have to be dodging and like hitting mirrors and making sure you're positioning yourself right so that the bulldog doesn't gun you down with his Tommy gun. It's really charming. They did a really great job, and each one has their own unique flair. So the bulldog, for instance, he has a Tommy gun because he's running these casinos, and the entire time that Sly is trying to go from place to place and get these pages of the Thievius Raccoonus, he's being tracked down by Carmelita, a fox who is a police officer trying to nab him for his crimes. But she doesn't see what's going on in front of her. She doesn't understand that Sly is stealing from these really bad people and trying to uncover their big operations that they're doing. And once he leaves, she's able to nab those criminals and uncover these things. She gets all this credit for knocking down these big empires here, and Sly's just doing all the work, and she still doesn't even realize that Sly's the one actually helping out in this case. She just really wants to track him down. You can feel the chemistry and the tension between the two as well the entire game. It's really quite charming. The writing is really fantastic too. They did an excellent job of bringing these characters to life. The voice acting is also pretty solid across the board. They just did a really great job of establishing these characters, their relationships to each other, and how they interact with each other is fantastic. Now let's get to the gameplay, because that's really what you want to have especially at a platformer like Sly Cooper. It's really solid, really great. It has aged extremely well. My major complaint is I really hate when you can't customize camera controls. I know that wasn't like a super common thing back in the day, but you have inverted X access on the camera, which I absolutely despise. It's in like the Banjo-Kazooie games. It's in the Sly Cooper. Like it's just not good. Jak and Daxter too. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I like being able to, I play, actually, I'd like to know in the comment section down below, I play with inverted Y controls. I think that's just a wiring thing. It's just how your brain operates. I think the superior ones like us have the inverted Y and the normal X and access ones. I'm kidding, of course, but I think it is just something that your brain, it works for your brain or it doesn't work for your brain. I have some people that have tried to play on my controls like, the inversion, I hate it so much, but it has inverted X controls, and I have never met a single person that has played with inverted X, ever. And it's mandatory, so you just have to kind of get used to it, and I don't think there's really any verticality you can do in the Y-axis. You don't really have to worry about that very much. I think in some of the aiming sections it is inverted, so it's good for me, but if you don't like either of those things, it's going to suck. So there is that drawback for sure. There are some things that have not aged perfectly for the game. If you're playing like the port on the PlayStation 5 like I am playing, or PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 like I'm playing, there is no room for changing things up. I believe on the PS3 collection you were able to change it, but I'm not 100% positive. Those might have been ports as well. Let me know in the comment section down below if you know the Intel and the PS3 collection. I never got it, but I think that the camera controls are customizable in that one. But I wanted to play the strict port. I wanted to play it in its pure form, so I could really experience how it felt back in the day, because I have a lot of nostalgia for these games. So that's my major gripe with it, is the controls. Otherwise, the game controls beautifully. I really like how they do it. You have special abilities that you can unlock throughout the game. The Thieves Raccoonus pages that you get will give you like roll. Roll is really useful, especially for the Master Thief Sprint time trials that you can do after you get the page for the area that you're unlocking. You find these clues and bottles around the area a certain amount. Once you get them, you can go to the safe at the end of the level. Bentley tells you he's able to crack the code with the clues, and you end up getting a new thief technique. So you get like the roll, that's just really, really good. It's nice for one of the boss fights too, when you're trying to avoid getting shot, you can roll, and if you time it right, you can get out of the way. But it's also really nice because it speeds you up and gives you some more mobility here. It's not perfect. If you get in, like the physics in this game are actually pretty cool. You get into a slight incline and you bounce off of something, Sly bounces like a ball. It's really, really funny. But the roll technique is really fantastic. Some of the other ones you don't use very much. You have one like you can slow down time or speed up time that I'd never really used. You get one at the very end. This is another little gripe of mine. There's one at the very, very end of the game before you go and fight the final boss, which is Clockwork, a big metal owl. You get to one of the safes and he's like, I'm sorry, I can't crack this one until you encounter the owl that wrote this. And it's absolutely useless because after you beat the owl and then you go back and do it, it's like the last thing you can do, and then it's not even that cool of a thing. You hit your staff down and it stuns all the enemies in the world for 3 seconds. Not that useful, not a great like big show or display or anything like that. So it's kind of useless like that. A lot of the abilities are, you'll typically just be using the roll and not much else. I think I stuck to that primarily because it's good for movement and evasion. And of course for the Master Thief sprints, which are really fun, but my other critique is a few of them are ridiculous. They are way too hard. Then like the first area, there's a couple that are really freaking hard. The rest of them can go hit or miss. Sometimes they can be a little hard, sometimes they can be a little on the easier side. Mostly they're fine, and I don't mind the Master Thief trials. I thought they were a good fun time. You can only unlock them after you've gotten all of the blueprint, all of the clues, and gotten the Thieves Raccoonus page. But the first few, I don't know why they were front-loaded with difficult ones, can be an absolute bear. But the rest of the game, if you're just platforming your way through it, every world is designed beautifully and it plays spectacularly. You have some interesting mechanics, like when you jump, you press the circle button to grab onto pipes that you can see like a little blue dot outlining them. You can grab onto the pipes and climb your way up, or you have other ones where you have to jump onto a post and like post up on top of it. You can get on slides like little vines and things like that, or onto hooks. It's really interesting to do a button prompt every time you need to do something manually like this, instead of it just actually happening. So it actually adds a little bit of tech skill to your overall playthrough, which I actually enjoyed. There were a couple of times where I was like, I wish you just, like, I had to jump off of a rail and I forgot to press the circle button again to climb on the rail, and that was annoying. But otherwise, it's really smooth. They did a great job of making this game play really smoothly. The combat's really fun. The enemies are fairly basic, but in a really good way. It feels very Crash Bandicoot-esque in a lot of ways, like the way that they set up designs and everything. It's really, really nice. I really enjoy the gameplay loop from beginning to end. end. The boss fights are exceptional. I do have my gripes here and there, but I do think Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, they really nailed the aesthetic and they really nailed the gameplay from the get-go. Great writing, great voice acting across the board, just a really fantastic game. So I will be giving Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus in between a gold and a platinum rank. Not quite platinum here because there weren't as many customization options in terms of the camera and everything. There were some hiccups here and there in gameplay, but overall this game is phenomenal. If you haven't played it, go check it out. I highly recommend it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.